the box office.
Yes.
So, major things to note. Let's see here. So that's showing it for yesterday. Yesterday works fine.
Yeah.
Um, we'll get into some more detailed things, but major things to note: that Babylon movie is just eating it.
Mm-hmm.
$110 million production budget, $6 million as of 6 days in the box office.
Oof.
It turns out that putting on a non-sexy orgy scene as the 20-minute opening of your movie, which is about, which is basically it's a story of singing in the rain, where it's the transition from silent to talkies,
Uh,
is not a winning factor,
yeah, who would have thunk?
and it's 3 hours long.
Oh. Yeah.
Now, it didn't. It had a really bad box office to start with. Um, can we stop pretending that Margot Robbie is a box office draw now?
Yes, yes, yes. Let's please let's do that.
Because there's always excuses for her movies, but it's not looking like people really like her outside of that one time she was Harley Quinn, and not the other two times she was Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Birds of Prey. Oh.
Yeah, I guess wasn't she in Wolf of Wall Street? I haven't seen that one. But,
Yeah, that was her big breakout role.
okay.
Yeah, and then she was in that other movie with Will Smith. Not Suicide Squad, but the other
Oh, I
one.
forgot about the. Okay, Ninja Toto makes a point. I'm in awe of the Barbie trailer. He says, I forgot about the Barbie trailer.
Oh boy, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. That's a movie I might see out of curiosity,
Mm,
but I guess we'll see how that one does.
yeah.
Because again, being a box office draw and being a good actor or actress are different things.
Mhm.
Like Nathan Fillion, great actor, very lovable in everything he does. Um, Firefly was still canceled.
Mhm.
You know, it's a, meanwhile Adam Sandler, he brings the boys to the yard, but the most entertainment I've gotten from him in recent years is him doing his blah 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 vampire voice in Hotel Transylvania. So that's
Yeah. Yeah. Adam Sandler is yeah, he's not as funny as a lot of people think he is.
no.
Yeah. It's so dumbfounding that it should be studied
Oh
how not to
man,
do
if
it.
YouTube didn't shank us every time we tried to do a trailer reaction, we might just do one.
Yeah. We've had some bad luck. Yeah, we did what She-Hulk and Super Mario Brothers,
Yes.
and yeah, we got throttled both times.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
So so Avatar 2 is the most recent example of a Schrodinger's flop that I can think of. A
Hmm.
lot of people were declaring that movie DOA after the opening weekend.
Yeah, because opening weekend it did well.
134.
Yeah, which that's good, but not great. It's not like setting the world on fire, but
At least
yeah,
for this level of budget.
right, exactly. And but I mean, Chris Gore pointed this out, and I think he's 100% correct. James Cameron movies have legs, and you look at the last two movies he did. He did with Avatar and Titanic.
Hmm.
Both of those movies opened around the same time. I think Titanic. I know Avatar 1 came out in December, and then I think Titanic did too.
Yeah, I think that was another fall winter movie.
Yeah, and both of those movies were at the top of the box office for months, like 4 or 5 months, and it just kept raking in the money. It wasn't
Hmm.
making these huge amounts of money, but it was pulling in small chunks of money over a long period of time.
Yep. And I think what really surprised me about this one, I had assumed it was going to underperform, but I think it's because I was listening to the wrong people.
Mm,
I'm not throwing shade at YouTubers. I'm more saying, like, think about nerd circles. What was the thing that people have been saying about Avatar from day one? no cultural impact.
Right. Yeah.
The only noteworthy thing that's produced is that Disney ride.
Which is a fun ride. I will give it that.
There's no novels, fan community, video games, um, heck, lewd fan art.
Yeah, and you don't see cosplayers going to conventions dressed up as painting themselves blue like Navi. You know, it's
I've seen
yeah.
more cosplayers of Homestuck than Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and I think and the other of course the other things too that was working against it was, the running time.
Hmm.
It's 3.5 hours. That's a good long movie. Um and it uh a long period of time between this movie and the first movie.
Hmm.
13 years is, that's, I said this a couple of weeks ago. It's that's a long time to wait for a sequel, and it's also, too short a time to be considered like a legacy sequel.
Yep.
So it's this weird pattern in there. So that it had that working. So it had all those things working against it. Um, but yeah, it just seems like, of course. But the thing where it was working in its favor was that what else are people going to go see? There's nothing really
Right.
coming out.
Babylon.
Babylon, yeah.
Babylon.
Puss in Boots, which that's
We'll
doing
get to that
that's
in a second.
yeah,
But
yeah,
and here's the other thing is that it had a kind of a double whammy working against it its second weekend. First off, we had those historic storms
hmm
and the fact that Christmas fell on Saturday, Sunday, which is bad for it. Where I
right,
started thinking, so like honestly, at the end of that weekend, I was thinking, okay, well, you can make excuses for it, but it might be underperforming. And then I started noticing that this week, each day of the week is better than either the 23rd or the 24th for it.
yeah,
We're seeing huge jumps, like 99% Monday to Monday, 32% Tuesday to Tuesday.
yeah,
So now this will probably quiet down as we get away from federal holidays and stuff. That
yeah,
now, so I was dead wrong when I thought it was going to come in at 1.2 billion, unless people just stop seeing it right now.
yeah,
Just everybody in the world decides, you know what? This was a shared delusion. We're stopping right this minute.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think what also threw people off is we're too used to analyzing Marvel movies and DC movies,
yeah.
which do just have these enormous drop offs.
hmm
Like, let's look up or go to a good friend Black Panther. Not that Black Panther, the other one.
Oh yeah, the Wakanda Forever.
Come on, the numbers.
So
Canned it
only
forever.
Ninja Toe says Avatar is a special effects event. Its popularity was based on the visual effects. Yeah,
That's accurate.
that's accurate. Yeah, I mean it. The story wasn't, great. The acting wasn't great.
It's like here's the typical performance of all these Marvel movies. You have a nice big pop, and
hmm
then the numbers does its estimate, and based on its opening weekend, you just flatline.
hmm
Like the legs on after nearly 2 months in the box office, uh, all it's not quite the 2.4 times its domestic legs based on its opening weekend, which
hmm
basically means that it made almost all of its money in the opening weekend and then
Yeah.
flatline. Um, so I can't blame. And also, I'll be honest, screw Disney. I kind of wanted it to underperform for the sake of Disney.
hmm
But on the other hand, hey, the theaters need money too.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. This movie. Yeah. It I was kind of the same way. I'm like I really hope it didn't. I didn't want it to perform very well because like screw Disney, but also it's like, okay, you have a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. Like it didn't seem right to me.
Oh, this is still kind of underperforming compared to the
Oh
last
yeah.
movie and compared to budget
Oh yeah. 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 It needed to make $1 billion.
to really be a big success. Yeah,
Right. And
but
it's not. I don't think it's going to get
uh,
there.
I was talking about Avatar. I was like, well, screw Disney. On the other hand, the
Oh
kind
yeah.
of the glass half full take on this, um, when I think about it, is that this isn't a um, this isn't a wholly Disney controlled property like Marvel or Star Wars at this point.
Right.
This is still James Cameron doing what James Cameron must because he is James Cameron.
Hmm. Yeah, and apparently, I heard a rumor on another show that I guess Disney actually did ask him to trim the running time down to 2 hours, and he basically said "f off."
Which, man, if it was 2 hours long, just think of the extra money they could be making right now.
Well, that's true, but yeah,
That's the other thing.
yeah,
It's making a lot of money because it's an IMAX and all these high premium, large format things where the
right,
average ticket cost is much higher.
yeah, and of course, we look at these numbers. What we don't, what's usually not taken into account is attendance.
Right. I would be very curious how many people are seeing this versus the original.
Hmm. Yeah, but well, that's the other one too. Is China? The other thing that was people were saying was, well, it's getting a China release, and it's doing, I think, okay in China, not great in
Yeah.
China.
But 112 million so far. Disney's probably getting 30 million of that.
Yeah.
Less than
Uh,
that.
oh yeah. Ninja
Also,
Toes.
Ninja Toe
Yeah.
says, I have grown to despise James Cameron. And again, it's only based on his work on Avatar, which is the only film I have seen of his.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Terminator 2, True
Mhm.
Lies. Go. Stop watching this podcast to make one of those happen.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
And I will throw aliens in there for good
oh,
measure.
right. Forgot Aliens.
Yeah.
Uh, So, and I think here's the other thing is, and this is like a silly thing. I think the reason a lot of people in our communities discount Avatar the movie is because of annoyance when no, not the Blue Kitty Avatar, the Airbender Avatar,
Hmm.
and always having to specify that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I would prefer the Nickelodeon Avatar over this one. Just
Yeah, but you know what? This isn't hurting anybody. It's giving Disney money, but it's giving them money in a way that it's not one of their wholly owned subsidiaries or like because James Cameron Studio is still the one actually making it, even
mhm.
if Disney is signing checks to them. So now it's kind of like, okay, why can't you guys do this anymore?
Yeah, yeah,
So it will probably be a blue kitty shaped bludgeon to try to make some heads roll at a few of the studios we've been lambasting.
yeah, yeah, and from everything I've been hearing about it, it's the same as the first movie. Great special effects and everything, but the story is okay. Couple of people I trust whose opinions I trust have said it's good, although like Chris Gore, for example, he liked it, but it definitely has flaws. So, and I think from his analysis, this is a very family oriented movie. I think that's what he liked about it, is it's
Hmm.
family oriented. It's actually more. He said this movie's more for kids than the first one, and
Despite the
yeah,
scenes of whale butchery.
yeah, yeah. So and I will say, I mean, Cameron does put some commentary and does put commentary in his movies, and the first Avatar was loaded with it.
Hmm.
Um, and this movie has commentary in it too. From what I hear, like the commentary in this movie is like everybody can get behind it. I mean, I can't I can't think of anybody that I know who is pro whaling.
So,
I,
I mean,
I mean,
those whales had it coming. Look at
oh,
them
oh
out
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah, yes.
take clogging up our oceans, taking our
Yeah,
krill.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah. So I mean, he from what I hear, he made a movie that has appealed to a broad audience, as broad an audience as possible, and we're seeing it play out in terms of the box office. So,
Yep, which, you know what? Good on him. Um, kind of wish it was at a different studio, but that's whatever.
yeah,
I and there are allowed to be things in this world that are not made for me.
yeah. Hey, Chengus, you've never seen Terminator 2 or Aliens, you are really uncultured.
Yes, agreed. All right.
Oh, 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 oh. Killing it.
Speaking of other kiddie movies, um, so Puss in Boots looked like it was a complete and utter flop because its opening weekend is only 12 million, but it's already tripled that. Just with what? It's not even a full week since it came out. Yeah, it. This is the trend line that box office or that the numbers was expecting.
Mhm.
It's completely crashed that. Like that's just the proof that it was the weather
Yeah.
that was really hurting things.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of pent up demand happening this week, considering that
Yeah.
now it might still struggle in the end to make a profit. They don't have a box office or they don't have a budget listed here, but if we assume it made like it cost as much to make as Minions, like 80 million or so,
Mhm.
it's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But this is probably one that's going to be big on streaming, which is better than I would expect for a sequel to a spin-off that wasn't even all that successful to start with.
Yeah. 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 Of course, I haven't seen that, and I've only seen like two Shrek movies. So,
If they're the two Shrek movies I'm thinking of, they're the two that were worthwhile.
that was the first two.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, that one made $500 million worldwide. Wow, that Shrek brand was popular.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But another movie that waited about 10 plus years for a sequel. I guess Antonio really wanted to do that character one more time.
Yeah. Well, what else is he gonna do?
Yeah, there is that. Oh, he could keep being the bee in those Flonase commercials because he apparently has allergies, so he wanted to the part
Wow.
to promote the allergy medicine.
Yeah. I
But
can understand that.
that was the interesting parts of the box office. It shows that there is actually what Avatar really shows is that there's still life in the box office if you make a movie that doesn't like alienate the fan base and doesn't only appeal to a slice of nerds.
Hmm.
You know what?
Right.
We nerds have ruled the box office roost for long enough at this point. I'm ready to have more normie fare to watch occasionally.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get more of that in 2023.
Probably we're looking at 2024, 2025 until it really starts happening
Yeah. True.
because we still got a lot of cruft to work through.
Yeah.
Now, with that out of the way, I think it's time to move on to the highlights of 2022.
Yes.